Fire shock revelation. Former WTA star questions Coco Gauff training. What's really going on? Face screaming in fear tennis. It began as an ordinary Thursday morning at the Wuhan Open. The sun peaked over the horizon, turning the steel-gray skies gold. Coco Gauff, 21 years old and ranked among the world elite, was already on court by 6:30 a.m., shadowing forehands in silence. Her movements were sharp but not desperate, her breath steady, her mind locked in. But far away from that calm, a storm was brewing online. A former WTA star, now turned commentator, had just dropped a statement that would send shockwaves through the tennis world. Coco Gauff's training program doesn't make sense, she said on a late-night podcast. It's too scattered, too media-focused. She's burning out before reaching her real peak. Within hours, social media was ablaze. Hashtags trended. Hashtag protect Coco. Hashtag Gauff training scandal. Hashtag tennis truth. And for the first time in years, the golden girl of American tennis found herself in the crossfire of controversy she never asked for. The voice behind the doubt. The critic was none other than Daniela Hanachova, a former top 10 player known for her grace, intellect, and unfiltered honesty. On her podcast, Court Confidential, Hanachova spoke about what she called the commercialization of modern players. Coco's a phenomenal talent, she began, her tone measured but biting. But the videos, the sponsorship shoots, the endless travel, where's the focus? Where's the long-term conditioning plan? I see brilliance, yes. But I also see a fire that's being overfed by everyone around her. Her words echoed with uncomfortable truth. For years, Gauff's life had been a whirlwind of success. Grand Slam titles, magazine covers, documentaries, even her own sneaker line. She was a face of youth, diversity, and possibility in tennis. But as every athlete knows, image and discipline are uneasy partners. And now, one comment had lit the match to a global debate. The world reacts. The reaction was immediate, passionate, and divided. Fans flooded X, formerly Twitter. Leave Coco alone. She's the hardest worker on tour. Daniela's right. The brand machine is running faster than her game. You don't question greatness and progress. You let it bloom. Meanwhile, tennis analysts scrambled to take sides. Former coach Darren Cahill defended Gauff, saying, every athlete has a unique system. What works for IGA doesn't work for Coco. What matters is results, and she's delivering. Others weren't as kind. A retired European player tweeted cryptically, when fame comes too fast, discipline leaves too quietly. And in the middle of it all, Coco stayed silent. Inside Coco's camp, behind the scenes, her team was rattled. Her longtime coach, Jalen Sarah, a former college champion turned strategist, knew the impact of public perception. Sponsors were calling. Reporters were circling. Every lens pointed toward their training court. Ignore the noise, he told Coco after their morning session. They don't see the grind. They see the glare. Coco nodded but said nothing. That night, in her hotel room, she rewatched her own practice footage, footwork drills, forehand repetitions, service motion tweaks. Each movement told a story of obsession, not distraction. Still, Hanachova's words echoed in her mind. Too scattered, too media-focused. Was she spreading herself too thin? Was her game still growing? Or was she protecting what she'd already built? The past that shaped her. To understand Coco Gauff, one had to rewind to the Florida heat where her journey began. Her father, Corey, had trained her with precision and patience, blending Serena's power with Federer's artistry. Her mother, Candy, instilled discipline and grace. At 15, Coco shocked the world by beating Venus Williams at Wimbledon. Overnight, she became a symbol. But symbols don't get days off. From there came relentless travel, interviews, sponsor appearances, brand partnerships. Nike, New Balance, Beats by Dre. Every door opened, and every step came with pressure to stay perfect. By 20, she was already more famous than some legends ever were. But fame doesn't wait for readiness. The cracks in the armor. Her results in early 2025 had been mixed. A few semifinal finishes, a handful of titles, but also unexpected losses to younger players like Mira Andreeva and Linda Noskova. Commentators noticed inconsistency in her forehand, occasional fatigue late in matches. Hantuchov's critique was entirely unfounded. The training schedule was different. Coco had adopted a flex recovery method that prioritized rest, mental conditioning, and content days in between. Her philosophy was modern, balance over burnout. But to the old guard tennis, balance looked suspiciously like distraction, the face behind the smile. During a Wuhan press conference, a journalist asked directly, "Coco, what do you say to people who think you're not training seriously enough?" The room went silent. Coco paused, her expression unreadable. Then she smiled, a calm, weary smile. "If people saw what I do when no cameras are around," she said softly, "they'd be tired just watching. But let me be honest, tennis isn't my whole identity. It's part of it. I love it deeply, but I also believe in having a life that's bigger than the court. That's how I stay hungry." Her poise silenced the room. But later that night, sports networks played her clip on repeat, analyzing her tone like a politician's speech. Was she deflecting or revealing something deeper? The breaking point. 3 days later, Coco faced Aryna Sabalenka in the Wuhan quarterfinals, a rematch from last year's U.S. Open semifinals. It wasn't just a match now, it was a statement. Every camera, every commentator, every critic waited to see if the controversy had shaken her. The first set was brutal. Sabalenka overpowered her, 6-2. Coco's shots lacked their usual sting. Her coach shouted encouragement, but her eyes looked elsewhere, as if she were fighting an invisible opponent. Then something shifted. In the second set, she loosened up. The footwork came alive. The serve returned with venom. She screamed after every point, as if exorcising doubt. 6-4, Gauff. The final set became a war of wills. At 3-3, a 24-shot rally ended with Coco diving, stretching, flying. The crowd erupted. Sabalenka smiled mid-match, a rare gesture of respect. Beyond the baseline, by the year's end, Coco finished as world number 2, her best ranking yet. Her forehand was stronger, her defense tighter, her mindset sharper. But more importantly, she had reclaimed her narrative. When asked what she learned from the whole saga, she said, "That silence doesn't always mean weakness. Sometimes it means you're working too hard to explain yourself." And that, more than trophies or endorsements, became her legacy that season. Epilogue, the lesson behind the flame. Underneath the glitter of fame and the roar of crowds, Coco Gauff had learned the hardest truth of all. Greatness isn't just about how you play. It's about how you grow when the world doubts you. She turned criticism into fuel, skepticism into strength, and questions into conversation. And somewhere, Daniela Hantuchov's words from that first podcast still lingered, not as an insult, but as prophecy. Coco's fire is bright. My only hope is that she learns how to feed it without letting it consume her. She did. Because Coco Gauff didn't just silence her critics. She trained her spirit to speak louder than any of them ever could. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.